Hello and welcome back, or welcome to our Minecraft hardcore world. I'm DueMountain and well, today we are starting off in a little bit of a new space for the Let's Play world in video content anyway, that is, because we are here in our zombie spawner section where we've made up a bit of a trident killer to be able to get some AFK levels and that lovely rotten mountain. You can do this. What's the word? Flesh. Okay, do it again. For that lovely rotten flesh for our clerics there. But this is an area that we've been building up over on live streams, and yeah, it's a very, very simple, straightforward zombie spawner. So as you can see there, zombies are spawning in, they're falling down here, going through a little chamber that takes them up a bobble elevator, and then they get dropped down here to our trident killer, which is just such a beautiful way to be able to get these mobs to be killed off, because well, we couldn't do this with our double cave spider spawner, because spiders, as soon as they get hit, they'd start climbing up the trident killer, so we wouldn't be able to actually properly kill them off. They need to be manually done. But with mobs like zombies, skeletons, and all that sort of stuff, this thing here is just a beautiful treat to have in our world. And I'll quickly turn off so it's not so loud. But as you can see from here, we get, I'll do a little quick ring-a-ring-a-rosy, and we'll get all of these extra levels coming through. But as you can see, it's pretty much 4 pistons facing in sort of a clockwise direction. We have observers which are facing into the piston, so that when the piston moves, it updates this dropper, which then, you know, powers this piston, which then, you know, it keeps the cycle going on, so it kind of makes a bit of a clock. And then, because, you know, on Bedrock we get tridents so easy, we just throw a trident in there that doesn't have loyalty. I don't know why, but the durability doesn't get broken on it either, so we just throw that in there, and as the pistons move around, it's hitting the trident, which is triggering the zombies to be attacked. And if we hold our lovely new sword here that you can see, which was named after our dog in our Don't Die December hardcore streams world, Cheeky, and we've got looting, we get extra goodies from it. So the looting effect is carried over onto the trident, which is a really nice little feature. But yes, as we can see here, I have also on stream managed to build up a beautiful sword here. We have Unbreaking 3, Fire Aspect 2, Looting 3, Sharpness 5, Knockback 2, and Mending. So not much more you can ask for in a sword, so I'm very, very happy with that. But why am I down here gathering up levels? Well, for starters, I wanted to show you guys, you know, because I always want to bring everyone along for this journey in this Let's Play world, and I understand that not everyone can always watch some live streams, so I'm going to move over here to get away from noisy trident, sorry. So I thought I'd show it off and let you guys know that yes, we have now finally put in a zombie spawner into our Let's Play world, and well, we didn't put it into, we've made the farm, and then we also wanted to be able to get this Efficiency 4 book put onto our axe. So yeah, let's head on up top now, and we can get that done. Now, I've just also realized that I didn't mention at all that you can see here our shield actually has the pillager. Can I see it from here? There it is. The Pillager's banner logo on it. And that's because, well, on a live stream we were talking about how, you know, in Bedrock we're able to now put the banners onto shields and actually get a little bit more customization within our worlds. And we're talking about, you know, maybe we should start designing up our own little banner to sort of go with our theme and everything like that. But in the meantime, I thought I may as well put the Illager logo on it, just so it looks a little bit decorative. So yeah, if you're trying to wondering why does my shield look a little bit different, that's why now. So now let's just quickly add on this Efficiency 4 book. So other than upping it to Efficiency 5, this is pretty well done. Now, one more thing that I'd like to cover just here is, you can see that for our name here on our sword, we've named it Cheeky, but it's also different coloured. I kind of want to cover that because I rediscovered that this works again on a live stream. So if you're playing on console or Bedrock Edition at all, I'm going to say for console because I know how to get to the command easier from here. But when you're in this keypad sort of thing, you're just skipping across until you get to this weird symbol. You're going to hold your X button over or you select, and you get this double S. From here, once we go back to our numbers and keypad, you can see that each one of these will... you got to be on that side of it. No. Oh, no. What did we learn? Maybe I shouldn't always talk when I'm texting. Yes. Okay. So as you can see here, if we click on different letters and different numbers, we get different sort of colors showing up. That's a representation of what that one will be. So for now, let's just go with this green, and we can call our axe axe. That nice and simple. We're going to call the axe, but it's going to be green, and that way everyone can now know how we can change the colors of our naming for this is for both weapons and also in name tags. So we're going to head up above soon, because our dogs now have names, and from last episode, as well as one of our allays, and we've also used this fun feature on there. So now that I've got my axe all nice and prepared, let's head up to the surface. So while we're here doing a little bit of looking around stuff, just like how I take my helmet off so you can see my lovely face, I'm going to take off my shield so that way you guys can see the picture just a little bit clearer. But here from last episode, when we were off setting out an adventure to try and find the Pale Gardens, which it was quite an adventure. We went over 7,000 blocks to find them, and we did it, and we also collected up quite a few new friends. Now, the best thing about getting new friends is being able to get new names for them, and each one of our doggo friends has a new name, as well as one of our allays. So, I would like to introduce to everyone, we have Mudbud, which is the first sort of pet that naming that we realised that we can do the colours for. So Mudbud stood out for having a nice unique colouring in his name, and he was named by get out of the thing there. He was named by, if I go over to my naming book here, Mudbud was named by Jackie Van Swan. So thank you very much for the name suggestion, Jackie. Now, we've also got this lovely white dog over here, which is named Sir Ned. I'm not going to lie, I chose that name because, well, Sir Ned reminds me very much so of my dad's dog, Sir Nettles, which is just a dog that I absolutely love and adore. So I wanted to name him over here. Now, we have a dog name and a matching allay name from Zia. Now, these names are themed, and I would love to know if you could, in the comments, pick where the name of this, we'll pick the theme of these names, and don't go back to the last video and cheat by checking into the comments there. But we do have our husky friend here, Victor. And then we have our lovely allay holding up a beautiful lapis lazuli block. Come over here so everyone can see a name, Hexcore. And this is again a lovely named variant. Now, you won't stand still, will you, for me? Oh, there we go. Hello. Say hello to everyone. So they are our lovely new friend pet names from our last episode. So I would just love to say a huge thank you to everyone who will not only watch that episode, but also, gave us some lovely name suggestions. Yes, okay, polar bears, look, I know that you're not happy in that space there. You also need names. Yeah, you're not on today's agenda, I'm sorry. And now you may be thinking, well, Mountain, what is on today's agenda? What are we jumping into in this episode? What are we doing? Last time it was a great adventure. Are we going on another adventure? No, not today. I can't do another adventure today. Sorry. Today, I do want to be working on collecting up a nice resource which is going to be helping us in our dwarven cave system that we've got going on down below where that zombie spawner is, the double cave spider spawner is, the whole area down below. And that is Honeycomb. because I think that using the copper blocks is going to be a really nice accent around our place, because I know we don't have too many buildings done up at all at the moment yet, but our build palette is kind of the new tough variants, as well as a lot of the stoned variants and that sort of stuff. So, oh, look at all our bees coming out now to, you know, say hello. But with that sort of very grey scaled, darker sort of colouring, I think that the orange sort of tinge from the copper, and also I am going to step into, I think I've worked out something with the resin that we can do from our last episode, but I think these orange accent colors are going to look really nice as a bit of a standout point. And then the fact that copper has, you know, 4 different stages that it can go through, you know, between its aged, it's fully aged, half aged, quarter aged, not aged at all, you know, all those sort of different stages, we get 4 different colors that we can use throughout our builds. And I think that today, building up a honeycomb farm is going to be something that's going to be very well much needed and used a lot in this world. So I want to get that done today. I also would like to get the skeleton's shape of the pillars for our staircase down below put in place, because once I've got that done, I think it's probably going to be a bit easier to get that construction built up on a live stream, because much like it is with cutting down trees, you can't see them from over here, it is a tedious task which I always avoid doing, but I have been doing these Wednesday night resource gathering streams, and you know, it's really made sure that I've been collecting all the wood and other resources that I'm needing. So I think building up the pillars will probably be best served off on a live stream. Yes, don't worry, Sir Nettles, we will be doing the skeleton shaping after we have finished up with our honeycomb farm. I really do like having this tree here. It makes us a good sort of vantage point to be able to look down over our area and work out where we want our builds to be placed in the world. So I want to sort of work out, where do I think the honeycomb farm will best be suited to go in here? You know, what are we going to be putting it in, and where's it going to be looking? But before we do that, let's sort of address, what is a honeycomb farm? A honeycomb farm is actually quite easy. It's a lot easier than a honey bottle farm, which is something that I've built often because it uses a few more components, but you can use it for either honeycombs or for bottle. I just this time want a straight up honeycomb so we can use it for waxing. So what does that farm entitle? Well, it means that we need to get ourselves just a beehive or a nest that consists of at least one bee that's going to be going and collecting pollen and getting our honey there. So that bee nest or beehive will be watched by an observer. Now, because we need it for honeycomb, nothing else, that observer will be ticking every single time the bees go in and out of the honeycomb, of the nest. Every single time it's going to do that, we're going to have a dispenser set up to that observer, and it's going to be trying to trigger off a set of shears. Now, if it's able to shear it and there's honeycomb, there's honey in the nest, it'll shear it and dispense out the shears, shear it, retract them and everything like that. If there isn't any honey for it to do, it's not going to do a thing. So it's a really nice, simple farm. There's going to be probably like 3 redstone components throughout the whole thing, maybe 4 if we want to get a bit fancy for that side of it. And then for our collection, we're going to be pretty much have it's an airspace between the entrance of the nest and then a block, so entrance block, another block that has a flower on it, because bees need flowers to go backwards and forwards to. So the 2 blocks that have the airspace on and the flower, they're going to be having a hopper minecart running underneath them, which will collect up any of the honeycomb that gets sheared. Now, I do want to make it very, very clear that this is not a lossless farm, okay? This is a farm that we will lose some honeycomb from time to time. However, though, I plan to have 3 hives going at once, and with this thing being a passive running thing, I don't need to do anything to keep it up and going except, you know, topping up some shears. I don't think it's a problem. Honestly, it's going to be working in the background for us. Let's get it done. It's going to be nice. So, wow, that's a wake-up call to how long my descriptions and my details take. It's now becoming nighttime, so I'm going to go climb down this tree again, and Then I'll climb back up, I'll climb down this tree, sleep, climb back up this tree, and we can work out where we want our honeycomb farm to be. So yeah, I'll catch you in the morning. Morning has arisen, let's now plan out where we want our honeycomb farm to be. So if we take a look down here, you can see that this here is our little pond and it runs off down to where our bed is, our storage is underneath the damn river over there. And then it's going to lead, you know, all the way down into our dwarven cave system. Now the theme for this area is that I still want to have that kind of dwarven-y inspired keep. And when I keep saying dwarven-y, every time I say dwarf, just think of the Hobbits or Lord of the Rings. That's what I'm referencing. That's pretty much my idea and my thought process of a dwarf when I initially think of one. So with that said, we're going to have all of that built around down there, and it will consume most of this area. So it's going to be like a nice, think of it as this side of the river is going to be more of the royaler side of things, where over there is going to be a bit more of the farmland and the villages. So we have already some farming there, which I want to move up onto this platform. Our tree farming area needs to be worked out where that's going to be, because I have no clue whatsoever. We've got our villages over there that need to be put into homes and be built up, you know, sort of sections. We do have our sugarcane farm here close to us on the river. We've also got our wool farm over there that needs to be extended, which is going to be built up over there, as well as our smelter and our bridge. So I think this side here has quite a nice flow already. And then as you can see with our wool blocks, we've done our pathing that's going to lead into the garden. So let's we've got our iron farm out over there. I tell you what, let's maybe look at over in this section. I think we could make it as a nice little pathway up here, then it's an underground sort of, not completely underground, maybe we can use sort of that part there to have it as a little bit hidden and tucked away so that, you know, the bees are always well kept and safe. There's no dangers of any predators or anything like that that a bee might have to... What predators do a bee have? Spiders? Wasps? I don't know. If you know what predators bees have, let me know in the comments. By the way, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, I think maybe that spot over there. So let's not jump down because wait, there's a vine there. I can go here. Alright, let's go and check it out. Okay, so if we come up here just past where we've got our little bee section at the moment, you can see that I'm going to have to do a little bit of tree chopping. If I'm looking at it from there, yeah, this is the spot here. It's also got a nice little wraparound. Ooh, he is cool too. I don't think this is Honeycomb Farm cool. But no, okay, I like that. So then if we have this space over here and we can build it into the face of the mountain. Because I mean, dwarves, they work off of the mountains. They build in the grounds and all that sort of stuff. So surely it would be more of an imprinted building here with like a storage or something that we can collect up from another section over there. So first things first, as much as I love having all this naturey trees, I think we're gonna have to cut them down. So it was a good thing that I upgraded my my axe, and yeah, let me now cut down some trees. I'm probably not gonna talk through it, but I might do like maybe like a few just tree chopping section things here. Editing Mountain, please save me from this. Well, cutting those trees down really made a bit of a difference there and kind of opened up that space nicely, hasn't it? It's making me think that when we start cutting down all these other trees here to be able to get more buildings in place, that this has a really good skeleton about it. I have a besides, you know, messing up my words as I'm doing right now, you can see here that I've cleared up a little pathway leading up to where we're going to be building our honeycomb farm. So if we head on up here, you can see that it's keeping in line kind of with following a path here. My thinking is that we can make some sort of archway up here to be able to connect up and properly support that bit of a dirt layer up there, maybe put a farm or something up there later on. I'm not too sure, but I was thinking that, you know, a path would continue on through here. So with that said, I think that maybe, and this is just what I'm thinking because hear me out, if we set up our honeycomb farm here, so we've got our bees in the wall here a little bit, so it's all set in, and then the storage for our honeycomb is over on this wall. So that way it's kind of like this little L-shaped here. We can have all the redstone nice and tucked in behind the wall and that sort of stuff, tucked away in the mountain, make it a little bit more cleaner to actually work with. But I'm thinking that that might be the way to actually go with this. So I'll switch over to my shovel and just start removing all of this extra dirt here, because I kind of want this to be our ground level. And now, usually when I'm setting up these farms or anything like that, you would have seen it when we did our wool farm over there. I like to have the contraption of, say that this is where it's happening, the hoppers would be under here, and then the chest would be kind of mountain. That was a stupid idea. You just put a grass block next to the grass blocks. How are you going to tell the difference with the torch? So where the torch is, it'd be like that block down there, that would be the chest. So normally we'd have to try and work out how to keep it in there so that that's not getting in the way, that lip there. We might have to use stairs or something like that. But now if we're going to wrap it around the storage and hang it up on this side of the wall, I think A, it's going to look a lot cleaner, but B, it's also going to be just a little bit easier to work with. So I'm thinking that this being the ground, then let's just open up this wall here as a 5 by 5 to start off with, because I want 3 beehives, so that way then we can enclose it and wrap it around, so that will make kind of like a 5 by 5 just to be able to get the shape there. So I'm going to break that away here. I actually think that this spot here might be the center. No, let's move it over one, because we can do like just use dirt for now, but we could do like a pillar wall to be able to divide the 2 sections, and then even have, so we match that with 5 there like that. We could do another little dirt wall up sort of thing, and that can just represent, like, there'll be the storage tucked in there, and then we go from here. Okay, so that's not too bad. We're going to have our storage in here, and we're going to have our honeycomb bee farm in there. So now it's going to be the fun task of going back 5 blocks here, clearing out all of this space, and then yeah, getting everything ready so we can actually start building the farm. So I think what I might do is just another one of those little clip things like I did when I was cutting down trees. That seemed to work, or I hope it did. So stop rambling, Mountain. Let's get to work. And just like that, we now have our spaces all cleared out for our storage and for our new farm to be built. I've even gone ahead and even placed in like the guidelines, so I know exactly where everything needs to be put for our honeycomb farm. So if we spin around, you can see, oh, that didn't change the camera angle, did it, Mountain? That did. We spin around here, you can see that these wool blocks are representing our bee nests, and then we have these cobblestone blocks up here which will be representing the dispensers. Now these have to be dispensers because we need them to actually use the shears, not a dropper which would just shoot out the item. Now these will be upside down dispensers facing into the bee nest, so that way we can actually shear up the goodies. We have our air block gap here, and then a row here for our flowers, which I've got 2 more. We can just put them right here now. And our bees will go in there, and that's what's going to collect up the pollen so we can actually, get honey. Now from the back part here you can see we have these blocks here, which will be the observers facing the bee nest, so that way they can actually detect each time the bees interact with the nest that's going in and out of it. It's going to send off a signal which, as I said before, if the shears can't actually, you know, shear any honey, they're not going to try, but if they can, then they'll harvest it. So these will be facing into redstone torches, which will just have this wool block up here, which will then, where's it? Just a pillar up block here. Alright, now as you can see up here, this is where our wool blocks are, and then these will be our observers facing into the actual bee nests. And now these will have a, what's it called, a repeater on this block here, so that way it's detecting the power signal sent off from the observer, and powers our dispenser, which actually triggers the whole system and, you know, harvests up our honeycomb. So that's the first part of the farm, is actually getting the item we want. Now we need to do, you know, collection and then moving on into storage. So if we look down the bottom here, you can see that I've cleared out all this space and put in some redstone blocks because, well, that's a good indication that, you know, there's a hopper minecart track going to be put into place here. But then I thought, you know, having a constant hopper minecart running around is going to start causing out a little bit of lag, and, well, we've actually got an iron farm. So I'm thinking that I'm going to scrap this idea here. I'm going to come back around to the center of this block here, take that one out, replace it with a mangrove root block because, you know, we can waterlog that, and then that way all of this area here will be saturated soil. So we can till this with a hoe and make it farmland, and hoppers will pick up items that land on top of any farmland because it's not quite a full block, so the hopper's able to pick it up. So that saves us actually running a track down throughout all of it. Instead, we'll just have the hopper right there where it placed the dirt, and it's going to be channeled down this little channel way over to here. And then we're going to have it sent up into a bubble elevator, and then it's going to go over into our storage system here with chests. Now, because this is just one item that we're going to get from this farm, we don't need to actually put in any item filters, so it's going to be nice and easy. We just have a heap of chests sitting over here, and then we just run hoppers all into the back of them, and then the items will just make their way through. We'll have plenty of storage and everything that we're going to need. Now, you might be asking yourself, Mountain, how do you intend to get your items from this ground level here where they will be collected all the way up to the top here where they're going to actually, you know, sorted and stored? Now, you said a bubble elevator, but how are you getting the items out of the hopper into the water channel? Well, I'm glad you asked. In fact, it's not really a designer, but I've just made up a very simple sort of item detective system inside of a dropper. And what that's going to do is it's going to detect any time that a item enters into a dropper, which is, you know, the way that our hoppers will be filtering it into. It's going to set off a chain, which will then get a observer going off to set off a little bit of a clock, which will then trigger off the mechanism sending the blocks up their way into the water system. Now, how may this look? Because I'm not going to lie, when I'm trying to actually put it into place, I'm going to get very confused and tongue-tied. So, I did a little, here's one we prepared earlier. We look just down the bottom here, you can see that I've set up a very simple display setting of how I actually want this to happen. I also, can we see him from just here? Yeah, you can see he's a little bit of a hat. Just as I was about to get ready to actually record this clip, this guy came out of the jungle wearing a hat, holding a raw chicken. So, he's not going to despawn and he's not going to be affected by the sun. So we've got ourselves a zombified villager up here that we need to purify and then get some goodies from. But enough distractions, let's talk about how we're getting the items out of this dropper. So as you can see here, we have a dropper which differs very much so from the dispensers we're going to be using in the honeycomb farm itself. The dispenser actually will activate and retract the item, where a dropper is just going to purely spit it out. So if I put in here, let's say 15 pieces of dirt, you can see that there is now a comparator picking up that signal. It's running into a repeater, which just sort of boosts up that signal, into this block here, which is then being powering this redstone dust, which is running down 2 steps, into another repeater, which is then powering this sticky piston. pushing up the observer in here, and as you can see, all of our items appeared absolutely nicely on top of the block that it was, which is the soul sand. And this is going to be, well, our bubble elevator. So it's just going to shoot up all the items up to here and then send them on their way down a channel. Now, I do think that I think I've actually explained that pretty well, which is saying something for me, because you know how many tongue ties I get. So what I'm thinking is now going from the demo and that sort of look out here, you can see the shelling of everything, how this all looks. I'm going to now go ahead and build it up. I'm going to do it very much so in the same sort of format that I've done the other little cutscenes, you know, the montage, whatever we're going to call them, those sort of things, because I think it's going to actually help reduce my video sizes. And after the last two I've done, like the last Let's Play episode was over an hour long, and then we just recently had the Hardcore Season 2 movie of the World Tour, and well, that was, you know, almost 2 hours long. So yeah, I'm trying to be able to neatly fit all the content that I'm trying to create here, and I think that I've explained it nicely here. I don't need to ramble it on and, you know, go through it. Let me just show you me putting it into place, and then we can come back here and we can see the final finished product. So yeah, let's get that done now. So from that little bit of a building montage, you're probably assuming that this whole thing went off without any problems. And in the case of the storage system, that's 100% true. In case of the collection system, that's 100% true. In the case of the bobble elevator, that's also 100% true. I finished up everything there, so, you know, we saw the clip and I was looking at the bees and I was feeling so proud of myself. It was all in place, and then I noticed that it wasn't dispensing any of our shears. So I had to go back and take a little bit of a look there, and we had to do just a little bit of tinkering to the redstone. So I thought, you know what, I didn't record that because I was struggling through it. I'm sure you guys have done redstone before and you know the struggles of it all, and if not, just think of some really hard math stuff, and then it's like, that's confusing. Either way though, we did overcome the problem, and as you can see, because I have been doing about, I think maybe an hour or two of AFKing, like it's not a massively fast farm, but we have collected up 57 honeycomb and for some reason 14 as well. So I don't understand why it's splitting them up sometimes between that chest and that chest. But I mean, to be honest, it's collecting them, so I don't really care. Now, looking at the bees here, you would see that it's all kind of enclosed here. There's also this barrel which, okay, so I initially wanted to include like just an automatic way to keep filling up all of the shears. So I was going to keep putting a load of shears in this barrel and have them going through and, you know, feeding into the dispensers. However, though, I know at the start I said that this wasn't 100% lossless, but you know, when a bee nest is sheared, you get 3 honeycomb from it. And every time it was getting sheared, I was only getting 1 in return. So I didn't like that odds. So I decided that it wasn't worth it. If these things need to be topped back up with shears, I'm just going to replace them manually. So yeah, this whole hopper line needs to be removed because it's now not functional. And yeah, so instead of just rambling on with that, let me actually take you in behind the scenes and we can actually see the redstone mechanics. So to get into the redstone mechanics, it's kind of following through this maziness of vines. There will be an easier way, but we break in here and we're into the area. Now, as you can see, we've already got some honeycomb here. There's 2 here from, I don't know how long they've been waiting there. It takes 5 minutes for an item to despawn, so anywhere in between that. But what we've got going on now is our wool block here is actually sitting, actually I can remove this bit of dirt. So our wool block is now being replaced with the torch, or the torch was replaced with that wool block that we originally had, and now that wool block is feeding into a repeater, which is going into another wool block, which is powering, as you can see, powering this redstone dust, which snakes its way all the way up to these repeaters, which are then going into powering this block, which is now the block that is behind the dispenser, because I was finding that these were getting shot out behind it and above it. So I decided to put, full blocks around it all to sort of really help push that honeycomb forward rather than letting it come backwards. And I mean, it's not been the best. If we go along here, there was just a shear done. So as you can see, we managed to collect it all up from that one. But yeah, so I went through, that's just a little bit of replacement I did. So our dispenser's now facing into a wool block, mountain words, into a repeater, into a wool block, into redstone dust, and then that just snakes all the way back over it all. And then our original wool block has a repeater facing into a block, which then has our dispenser on the other side. Now you're probably thinking, Mountain, why is there a button here? Well, in case I go too far away and the chunks become unloaded and this thing doesn't shear and there's honeycomb stuck in the system, I can just push this button and it manually shears it also. It's just a little fail safe in case I have any issues in the future. Yeah, so as we can see, we've been getting more in there and more in there. It's not 100% lossless, but I mean, like, I've only given it like a couple of hours of runtime. This world is already a couple of months of runtime, so not runtime, but been running for. So I'm sure with a lifetime of it, and especially with it being so close to where we are, everything's going to be loaded, all of these chunks. So it's always going to be passively gathering things through. So I've got to admit, it looks really nice just being nestled in there. I mean, the dirt pillars kind of really break that illusion that this actually is kind of supported by something proper, which means decoration and actually now structurally building around the farm, because we've got it in place, but now it actually needs to look the part. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get that done in this episode. I'm starting to run out of time to be able to record it, and I still want to start talking about the pillars and sort of the pathing down below, because I want to start using that as something we can do on live streams, but I would love to have at least addressed this on an episode, so then we can go back and you guys can actually see all the progress. So the honeycomb farm is working. I am really happy with it. There was just that small change to the redstone circuitry sort of setup, and then it's been working without any issue ever since then. I mean, you do need to take into consideration this is not 100% lossless. It's not, but I mean, the fact that we could set up another 3 of these and we'd have so much honeycomb. But for now, I'm really happy with how it is. We will probably come back maybe next episode and detail this up, or I might do it on another live stream. And all live streams from this world is on YouTube on this channel and are saved, here, so you'll be able to always go back and check them out later on. But instead of doing the rambling, let's actually head on down below and address the pillars holding up our stairs, or lack of, I should say. Alright, so now that we're standing here on our grand staircase leading into our dwarven empire? Kingdom? Well, I'm still working it out, but we're still on the staircase here. This is where I want our pillars to be placed. And as you can see, kind of in that 2 episodes ago now would have been, that last one of the 2024 year, we placed in these little water columns, because what I want for each pillar to be able to function as is a little bit of an elevator to be able to go between the different floors all the way down there. So as you can see, we've got one here that would lead to maybe a little bit of the deeper end, and then we have this one over here, which is more than likely going to lead ourselves to this section here, which makes it a nice easy walk off over to our double cave spider spawner. If that's not a mouthful, I don't know what is. But I'm thinking to be able to have these little different features in there to be able to make it a little bit easier to get to and from our sort of keep in our dwarven area here. Everything's sort of a little bit more easier to manage in pathing. Now, speaking of pathing, you can see that I've brought down our trusty wool blocks because they do make excellent, marking out areas. I would also like to address where I want our pathway to be, because I really do want, and I've been using quite a bit, our zombie spawner. So I want to kind of clear out a little pathway here so we can sort of visualize where I want this to go. Now, I understand that sometimes marking out the pathings and where we want all of our pillars to go might not always be the most interesting of content to view. However, though, that's why I've done it towards the end of this episode, so that way it's still done. You know, you guys can all see it here without having to join in on the live streams, and you can know exactly what's going on. So that I've cleared out that little pathway here. You can see that I kind of want to come out a little bit further here and then continue on over to this section here. Maybe even wrapping across to be able to go where the lush cave is, so we can make some sort of a bridge or something going across there, and then leading on down over to this section where I've been going around and collecting up a little bit of my stone. So, we do some mining over here, plus we can also incorporate different builds and other farms that need to be put in place. So I'll only just go that far into that section because it's mainly the zombie spawner and the double cave spider spawner that I would like to make sure is connected to our path. And from here, I would really like to incorporate a staircase. And you know what? This is probably the best spot to have it. So out of wool, let's just quickly make something up. So that way we can kind of visualize where everything's going to be needed, and then we can know exactly where all of our blocks will be placed. Yeah, and then maybe go down one step here. Alright, and then this will kind of be like the T section between splitting off areas. So here we'll go in through our mining area, or the abandoned mine shaft, which leads us straight to our double cave spider spawn. Now, because the path is kind of pretty well, shaped already by this existing ruined mountain words by this ruined mine shaft, I'm not going to go through and wool it all out, because we can very easily follow it through and make our way over to it. Now, I said very easy, yeah, but I'm not in shape. Alright, so as you can see, now we're here at our double cave spider spawner, which is another room and area that needs to be built up a little bit, made to look somewhat useful. Like, this is a very, very early on farm that we did, so you can see it's not really following already our build pallets, so we're probably going to build a shell over the top of this one. Oh, we do have copper. Oh, lovely. Oh, and I've got gold too. For some reason I thought I had no gold. Well, it's good to know that past mountain's looking out for future mountain. That's right, Drown. It's really good when, wait, how? No, you shouldn't come there. I don't want you to lock onto me. You've been the drown that's been there for so long. How did you get out of your area? We might need to come back and name tag them so that we don't accidentally hurt them. Okay, but that distraction aside, let's continue on our pathway here, which will lead us to our zombie spawner. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to go through and flatten out this area. We're going to put in a staircase leading down here. Then we can wrap our pathway all the way along. Mountain, did you really have to go through the dripstone? Well, when it's cleared out, it's the easiest path. Yeah, okay, that's true. I'll have to work out a nice smoothing method for all of this, but it will be pretty much all of this stuff here. If I can clear a spot in my hotbar. So, it will be, these sort of half slabbed texturing, that sort of stuff with the stone bricks, because that is our texturing for our flooring, and all the walls will be the tough sort of stuff with an accent of copper. That's why I was happy to see that I had some. But yeah, so the pathway will continue on down here. We'll have to work out another staircase. I'm not doing it as gracefully as I did the other one, but that'll snake us all the way down to here again, just because of the natural pathing I've already made. I won't do the wool blocking because you'll see right here now we have emerged. We've entered our zombie spawner area. So very nice. I can get an easy pathway in here, and those are the sort of 3 paths that I kind of want to get done on stream, and I know that they're going to take up quite a bit of time on a video. So, you know, we're not going to include them in the Let's Play episode. I know at the start of this I wanted to say that I want to include every moment, you know. So instead of having every moment done on an actual episode, it'll probably be captured on a live stream, which is also going to be, you know, still documented here so you guys can enjoy all of this world. So now we're back up here going to address the pillars. And for this, I think it's going to be best just to sort of start from the bottom and sort of set our design a little bit, and then I can just copy and paste this all the way through. So the blocks that I'm going to be using, without a doubt, is going to be our tough stuff, because that's what we're kind of using for our walls. So it's going to be very much, you know, I'm going to probably want the food on me there. Yeah, let's swap out the axe. So it's going to be very much so the tough bricks, the chiseled tough, and then the chiseled tough blocks. Okay, just bricks, it's not blocks, mountain, words, read. And then we're going to try and use our walls to sort of give it some form of like curvature around it. So why not let's actually jump down here and see where our water stream's going to take us. And I'm going to want torches. Let's just try and get a few up on there, so nothing drops down on us and tries to eat my face, because that won't be fun. Oh, ow. I'm glad I didn't land on one of those dripstones. Oh. Okay, so down here we can see that this is where our water source is going to. So this is where we're going to be building up sort of our pillaring around it, remembering that this block here is going to be replaced with either the soul sand or a magma block, depending if we want the elevator to go up or down. Ow, I just hit the desk. So for this, I think let's start out nice and basic and have these chiseled bricks, because I like how they look as a base. So if we go around here for this, now I can see again that it's not as fitting with what we've got up at the top there. And for the top, I went out a little bit of an extra step around this, all just to give it a bit more of that grander look. So if I clear out another space here, staggle, this thingy, stop getting in my way. So this will be our outer shell here. Then I'm going to go up one with all of this. No, actually, I think, ooh, what if we go like, each corner, we'll put this one, and then we'll run the walls around it, leaving the center open, so that way you can get access into this bobble elevator whenever you may need it. And I tell you what, that might be where we introduce the copper highlights. So because I don't have any copper on me at the moment, I can't really mark that out. But what I do have is this, so let's see what it looks like with the actual maybe floor meeting up to it. We get a nice walk in, and the bobble elevator take us up. Now I do know that we're going to need something to be able to keep the bobble elevator afloat, because once we make all these water sources, it's going to want to spill in. So we might be able to do something with fences, not fences, signs or something like that, to kind of make it look like it's enclosed. Or we could use trapdoors too, and make it look like, and close the trapdoors over it, make it look like it's a slim funnel going up there. So those are the things that we need to think about. Let's just finish off this little ring around, putting in the lighting where we can. Alright, looking at that, that's not too bad. Okay, it's, yes, a raw skeleton shape or something. I mean, we've got wool blocks in there to sort of represent. I think that's going to be the copper. I think that might be that nice place to have it in there. So now let's work out the pattern. So by that I mean, with the sides, how many is each going up in the copper before we go back to do the three? So the chiseled, where is it gone here? The chiseled brick, then the chiseled, and back to the chiseled brick before we go up into the copper one. So let's just get a little bit of a a dummy version of that set up on just one side of it, so that way when I'm on stream, I know exactly how much this pattern is going to repeat. Our machines. So if we come up here, just jump on up, get back to height. So we already have 2 wool, and I'm thinking for the scale of this, might be 5. So let's go up another 3. And yeah, we'll just do this edge here too. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, wait a minute. I messed up. I went 5, 3, 3. No, okay. So that's okay. I realize I've messed up. I should have gone up 5 there. So the wool needs to get extended up a little bit. So that's going to be our copper blocks. However, though, looking at the way that's there, I like that. I think that's really cool. So we've got now the shape and the design of our pillars. I'll be able to go ahead and get them built up on stream. Oh, lovely! I mean, okay, I know I've got to swim like this now, but how does it just function at the moment? Oh, my air balls aren't the best. Let me line ourselves up. Oh. Alright, not too bad. I mean, obviously once that's a bubble elevator, we'll actually, have a much smoother travel up there. But I think that's a great now, setting to be able to show, we've got now marked out where I want our paths to be done, and we know how we want our pillars to be shaped and all that sort of stuff. And I think that that's going to be an excellent sort of, as I was saying, live stream, thing to do. Now, you keep saying that that's going to be a great live stream thing to do. Let's go over here and revise our episode board with our stream board. Now, for those of you who may be new here, hey, how's it going? And if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I hope you're really enjoying it. But distractions aside, this here is, a board of things that we wanted to get done in episodes with a board of things we wanted to get done on streams. Go cave mining, set up a mine, work on the cave pond, which is the one, next to our room and that sort of stuff there. Go looking for the shards and the trims. We want to just do some nether exploration. The tree farming, don't worry, I have been doing that non-stop. It's been going great. Work on the bedroom, haven't done that, got distracted. A giant ruined temple, so that was an idea on a stream to actually work on, and I think that'd be a great project. What I want to do, I don't have any wood on me, I can't add to the stream board. Okay, don't worry, I've picked up some signs now, but let's finish off what I had stuff I wanted to do in the episode. So that was things like farming crops, farming animals, which we've done a little bit of, like today, farming animals, the honeycomb, that's definitely one. The stairs to mine, so we did that originally, and now we're going to progress that onto the streams. So I'm going to move that over here now and put that in the first one. So it's going to be stairs. Okay, so we can add that one on there. For this one now, let's go through and we can remove it. Oh man, it's a great feeling to be able to remove things off of your to-do lists. I mean, okay, yes, we did just move it from one to another, but hey, it's off this one. We also had villagers. We've got exploring and gear upgrade. A gear upgrade, I think we've done that. So we can remove that one as well. Beautiful. Set out our paths. We did that one, so that one can be done. Redstone is something that's going to be ongoing, so we did a bit of that today. We can keep always going and adding into that. What do we got down here? Move the enchanting table. Did not do that. Decorate the spawner. Did not do that. The ocean monument. We did do that, so I can cross this one off. Now, what I'm going to do is over here on this one, we have, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler for next episode, but we are going to do the dog collection. So we're going to go exploring, go out and find, there's 9 dogs, so we've got to go out and find 6 more. So dog collection. So we're going to be doing that next episode, but it's always good to add on the board in case something else comes up and we get sidetracked. We can make sure it's still on our list. So yeah, I think that's going to be nice and keeping that up to date. We should return every few episodes and make sure that, we're on track with our to-do list, and probably should also, let's put this on the to-do list too. What is that? Yep, there we go. Build to-do list room. Okay, I think that's a good one to add in here because this should actually look up really nice and neat. And if we're going to start, making bridges, I haven't really spoken about that yet because it's a future idea, but getting elevators and everything in place, I think this room here should stand out and actually, look the part of being in our dwarven keep. Alright, so with all of this now said and done, we've now put in place our honeycomb farm. We still have to do a bit more decorative stuff, and we might do that at the start of next episode before we go dog hunting. We've also now mapped out how our pillars are going to look for our grand staircase, as well as getting the first sort of layers of pathing down there, which I think is a very important thing. And we're able now to do those on live streams, so on some of our Wednesday resource gathering stuff, we might turn that into a little bit of a building thing. So I hope you guys could check that out if you're able to. Alright guys, so it is now that time of the episode where we wrap this all up. I feel like we have achieved quite a fair bit, and I'm really happy with now actually being able to start using the copper without any fear of it aging. We can actually use it as a highlighting block and just start actually getting a bit more color in here and actually starting to get some more builds, because yeah, okay, I know we've got lots of partial stuff and setup stuff and stuff underground. It's gonna be nice to actually have all of this stuff above ground now starting to look good. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone who has tuned in and made it up to this far in the video, or even just watched even a little bit of it. I do appreciate it. And well, until next time, bye!